Mm.
Hello there, you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people, and welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be doing some art and some art and chill. Not it. I can't even do even do the intro without being fish now. Come on now. All right. So I will be doing some art and chill today. I'll be drawing a little bit of much stuff and maybe some cards as well while I'm at it. So let's see. Let me yoink myself like into the corner. It's because come on though. So let's see. Don't shrink any more than it's supposed to be. So all right, so this here is roughly all I have prepared for today. The one behind me is a sketch for a keychain. I kind of want to have like a small like metal keychain or like something similar to that effect. This right on top of my head is more for a cap or beanie or something like that, or maybe a mask, but I need to see if I can find like a good mask provider for this. But yeah, so this is roughly for a mask overall. I've tried like putting it into a stream elements website, and it wasn't exactly perfect, so I'm going to be refining the design as I go. And this right here is for the cards, for the art of the cards themselves. So if you have any ideas as to what I can draw for a card, please don't hesitate to throw that in chat and I will keep a track on it. But yeah, so this is roughly what I have prepared for the stream today. We might go through everything, we might not go through everything. It depends really. So let's see. So of course we're going to go through the first thing I have prepared overall, which is the keychain. So let's start working, shall we? How are y'all doing though? Like how are the things? Okay, let's see. Yoink. Let's place this group, let's merge it together, and let's let's lock it for now. Remove all the extraneous layers, and we are ready to go. So let's see. Let's try to make things a little bit better overall. No, that doesn't look good. I've been doing well on my own side though. This one is really not good. Let's see. This year is kind of hard to properly do. There we go. And then afterwards I'll correct the small strands of hair. Okay, so this one goes like this. Just a smidge pointy like this. But that was a perfect one. No. No. Sometimes you erase like a strand of hair, or like just a line that was perfectly fine. Yeah, I've been doing well. I've just came back from my appointment to the doctors and whatnot. So I've been doing all right. It's been like a little bit like hot out there, so definitely not like the easiest it could be for me. At the same time, it's not being bad at all. Okay, there we go. Nope. This needs to be a little bit more curved because this is slightly tilted to the side. Okay, we are close here. Just need to redo that line in particular. But yeah, so as I was heading to my doctor's appointment, I actually noticed that there was like a there was like a pawn shop on there. There's usually a pawn shop on the way to the doctor's, and I was like kind of curious as to what they had in stock because my tram was like a little bit late. This is way too big. Let's see. There we go. Let's bring it back to this. But yeah, so I was like going into a pawn shop, and I was wondering like what I could see and what I could check in there and see like how things would be, like at what price things would be. And surprisingly enough, I actually found two things I bought. I didn't even think I would go in there and buy something, but I did. So I managed to find Astral Chain for like 30 euros overall. Brand new on Amazon, it's like 60 euros still. It's like 55, 60. It's really hard to see it drop in sales either, so I still find that I've done like a good, like I have made like a good deal of that. And the second item that I'm currently using right now is a small, like it's a small keyboard. There's like 21 buttons plus 4, that's 5. That's 25 plus 4 F5 buttons and an escape button and a space button, and yeah, it's a tiny little keyboard, but for what I do with it, it's so useful. So what I'm using it right now is in order to do my small like whenever I cancel out, like I do my undo actions, I actually use that small keyboard rather than trying to reach for my keyboard that's behind my tablet, which would be a pain. Would be a huge pain to do. So let's see. It took me like a little bit of time to get used to it though, but at the same time, the moment I implemented my own little macros for them and whatnot, the faster I just mastered this thing again. And now I just cannot go without it already. It was like 25 euros too. Like normally these kinds of keyboards, like you would see Razer and I don't know, Logitech and whatnot. Like these kinds of brands altogether would sell those kinds of keyboards for like 60, 70 euros. I found that for 25. So I think this is a really good deal for for a fully programmable keyboard that has that many buttons. All right. Let's see. Let us see. I don't like this trend of hair here, though. Okay, so Control plus zoom. There we go. Usually, I used to use the buttons on my pen to do that kind of stuff. So it was harder to get used to. But now I have like a free hand, like I don't have like any weird pressure on my pen. It's much harder for me to do my art. It's really much better. I still suck at lines though. It's definitely something I just cannot do. Darn it! There we go. Lines are my nemesis. I just cannot do them. No matter how hard I try, I just cannot do them. Well, I cannot do them properly, at least. It's really rough at times. Because I tried to make those like as clean as possible, but I really don't know how people can manage to have like the clean results they have overall, other than just plain automation, I guess. Because I always like end up going a little bit overboard and having to autocorrect this way, which can result in some artifacting sometimes into the drawing. Okay, so let me do a little something here. No, it's more like this. Which means that my hair is a little bit... You know what? Let's go like this instead. This way the hair will still make sense, and... There we go. I'm doing this because I am not confident in my eye skills. Like, I suck at making eyes. To make the ones you're currently seeing right now, right here, like these eyes right there. I struggled for so long. I think it took me a month or two to be able to perfect these eyes, and even then, it's still like it's still not exactly full of life either. There's like some semblance of life in it, but it's still lacking, I would say. It's still very much lacking. But I'm still working on those eyes, and this will be part of the 1.0, I guess. Alright. back to the art stuff though. And hey there, 123. How are you doing? Uh, Discovered something about video chess that I might find mildly amusing. What? The fact that that you might have been beaten by it again? And I said you shouldn't be, and you still went and you got defeated. How dare you? How dare? This tune is. I need to remove this one in particular from my list. It's very rare when I really don't like a tune from Lateal, but it sometimes happens. Sometimes there's like some bad ones out there. So what happened in video chess? Okay. My lord, this looks weird. I really suck at making ice. This is why. This is why I have. Wait. This is the super button. There we go. This is why I make entire layers, just to be able to draw these eyes. I just cannot draw them to save my life. Especially chibi style. Chibi style is really rough to get a good grip onto. Too small. Too eggy. This is weird. This is close. This is done close. Let me try and work my magic here. There we go. Nobody will see the difference. Nobody. There are 7 difficulty options. On difficulty 1, it takes the computer up to 15 seconds to process a move. On difficulty 7, the computer will take up to 10 hours. So if video chess is a bit too fast-paced for you, you have to play difficulty 7. Yeah, if you just want to look up the solution on how to beat the computer, yeah, you have 10 hours to do so. Mm. Man, drawing these kinds of faces is really my bane here. Yeah. Almost as far as watching paint dry. I mean, the. It's little too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I indeed guessed. I indeed guessed that. But the Half-Life mod, watching paint dry, is actually pretty good. For those who have never played it altogether, I would definitely recommend playing watching paint dry. Let's see. It's really tough to make to make like good lifelike math that doesn't look like super awkward. That seems correct-ish. You know what? I should get that in. Is there a way to put that in full screen mode? There we go. There we go. This is going to be much better to draw on this. Okay, so and now this feels weird. This feels awkward. This I really don't like this this mouth. Blah! Begone, mouth. Begone! It's not smiling enough. Let's see, what if I tried modifying it like a little bit? No, this looks weird. Bam. Let's see. Let's try to deactivate this. It's kind of hard to give like a good. Yeah, we're getting close actually. First line wasn't correct, but the second one seems good. Wrong one. The math seems a little bit too low. And also weirdly placed. I hate that I'm like this for every single thing I make. Like I keep seeing like some tiny imperfections here and there that I'm like, no, this is not how this is supposed to be. This is not how this is supposed to be. This is not how this is supposed to be. Which makes me more mad than anything at times. Like this, for example. Alright, let's shrink this back to a 5. Alright. It's a little bit better. And then I can afterwards just graft. There we go. That looks much better this way. Alright. Now next. Yeah. You know what? I'll do a second layer for this. And I'll group all of these together. So that even if I make mistakes, this won't look too weird. Yeah, this looks a little bit weird right there. That's okay, that's very much... Well, now that looks really weird. There we go. But yeah, so one good thing recently that has happened to me is that the doctors that were like supposed to take care of me overall, like have found like nothing really weird to like in my body that could cause like some irreparable damage on the long run. So I'm out of the woods in terms of that, at least. So I will not have to look for a doctor for like a few months. So I'm completely free of doctors for at least the next month. So the entirety of August is completely free, and like the first week of September, I'm completely free of doctors. Yay! So that means less tiresome things, like less the sleep schedule being completely messed up and whatnot overall. You know what? Let's draw this first. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Not exactly perfect. Ah, come on, it's kind of hard to... This music is not perfect either, darn it. Why do I keep getting the bad lottery of... Well, the lottery of bad songs here. There's like, out of the entirety of the Latte soundtrack, there's like 1 or 2 bad songs out there. Well, actually, no. There's like... out of 300 songs, I think there's like 6 or 7 bad songs altogether, in my opinion. And every single flipping time I managed to pull like 1 or 2 in a row. And like, why? When you have like some perfect chill music like this. Oh, whoops. That's not even the right layer anyway. Oh, good thing I didn't do it in first try, because otherwise I'd be mad. Alright. So this comes to here. Okay. Now I'm going to put a paint layer above this one. Because this one is going to have... Oh, never mind. I need to do it differently for this one. Let's do the other paint layer first, and then we'll see what to do. Come on. We just had this song! See, this is exactly what I mean! I keep getting the bad lottery of songs each time. It's a good song, but we just had this one. I'm really not good when it comes to luck. I should really, instead of shuffling it, I should have it like play at a certain point in the thing and just let it rotate. Alright, let's remove this part here. Actually, remove this part here too. So this here, let's see. Wait, that's not part of the I see. There we go. Because this is like a slightly higher up, raised because of the How would I do this? This doesn't seem like cool enough. Maybe I should do this and then just cut it off this way? Alright, that should be good for this part. I just need to draw the other section now. This looks a tiny little bit awkward though, this way. There we go. At least looks a tiny smidge better. Just a tiny smidge. Okay. Now time to use the ancient technique of actually using your own VTuber as a reference for for the clothes you're about to draw. The ultimate move. So first, Let's do this. There we go. And then now we can start making the tiny little details. So because who said chibis cannot have details, you know? At least in this particular part, it's not that hard to make like proper details overall. I just need to pay attention to how I want those details to come to life though. I don't even remember when this song plays. I think it's during one of the later stages in the game, where you have to literally flee. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe it's in a just in a normal dungeon. Just need to be careful about it, I guess. Okay, so now just right here. Okay. Wait, no, it's the opposite. It's away from the knee. So it should be somewhere around like this then. No, wait, no. How did I do my design again? So something like that? No, it should be like a little bit higher here. Like right here. So like that. And then from here... it should snatch the other side and make... there we go. Normally, if I'm not wrong, this should be it. Yep, there we go. We're good on that front. Alright, so... do I need to refine anything though? Yes. There definitely is some lines that aren't well made. So on to the refining you go. Alright. That shall be all for the reference. The ultimate move. Just use your VTuber as your own as your own reference points. It's okay. It's the perks of streaming, you know. Otherwise, I would have to pull an image and just slap it onto the picture and call it a day. You know what? Bam. Okay, so um a the tiny little dangling thing that's right here. It's a little bit hard to make like proper dangling animation for things when you move. It's kind of hard to do. Like even when I move here, like it's not absolutely perfect in its movements. It's still dangling at least. Alright though. So still a couple of details I need to add. Actually, no, it's the opposite. The strong one is on. Okay, and then from here. Okay, no. It's hard to do a good one. There we go. Because like all of the details I have here, like on the hoodie, technically like reflect on the other side. Like the blue parts here goes on the blue on the other side, and the red here goes also in the same way on the other side. All right. My hand almost went back to my normal keyboard as well. Okay, so now the pouch. A tiny little pouch. This looks a little bit weird. I think the pouch should be more around here, actually. Because the torso is looking like right around here, so the pouch should be right there too. Though it looks kind of weird in this way. Yeah, looks a little bit awkward. Maybe because of that line in particular. Let me... Fluffs keeps falling in his face, yeah. He's clumsy like that. There we go. I think we got a better... What a quick... Ah! Really, Kazan? Really? Fish keep falling. If I ever get to a TwitchCon and Kazan also gets to a TwitchCon, I will find you and I will get a fish right on your face too. Like a fresh fish from the nearest poissonnerie around. It's like splat. I cannot make it a promise because most likely this will be refused because fish actually kind of stinks. So yeah, I don't think fishies are going to be allowed into the next TwitchCon. Which, by the way, TwitchCon 2023, Paris. It's in Paris. I can actually go to a TwitchCon. I will be able to get to the TwitchCon this year. Onto the next year. Flippin' Paris, man. Well, if there's no cancellations and over bad stuff. My flippin' lord. The randomizer hates me here. You know what? I think I know what's going wrong here. What's bothering me? There we go. There's also this side too that I need to draw properly. Man, this almost... What game also uses like these oh yeah, like sounds like a lot of time? Warframe? No. What game? No, it still needs to go like a little bit deeper in. like write this. Metal Gear Solid, maybe? It's definitely not a Metal Gear track. Like, all of this is still very much Latte. Hmm. Yeah, there's something wrong with this arm in particular. I think it's too high. That might be the entire reason why. Like, if I place like a little bit lower, oh, this is not part of that layer, huh? I need to lasso it. Done. Nah. Okay, now it should be. Okay, so somewhere like here? Would that be the perfect place for it to be? Seems a little bit high. Let's see. What if I rotate it a little bit? Yeah, it seems correct, but something wrong here. Okay, maybe that way that seems better. It feels better at least. Yeah, I'm bonking things. Joe is beaming again. All the beams. The Mweep beam. You know what, Joe? Just for you.
Mweep.
Mweep. Oh no, no ads! Not with this music! It's one of the better musics as well. No! By the way, are you hearing the music? It's something I have to ask, actually. Can you hear the music normally, like the others? Because last time you didn't, and that was very sad. I was the saddest of Mackies. Can hear the music, not sure about 1, 2, 3 though. Yeah, for sure. A bit low? Do you want me to raise the music a little bit? I can do that. There we go. Does it feel a bit better now? All right. Just need to get rid of this spot here. Let's make it like a tiny little bit distorted so that it's not perfect. Yeah, it's definitely not perfect. I have to redraw this part. Darn it. Wait, is that part of the overlayer? It is. It shouldn't be. Yeah, this is too small now. Man, this arm is causing me troubles. It's over nice. 1, 2, 3 can hear good music again. Even though it was not one of the better songs, it's still good music. Man, I'm so close to actually just getting the right thing here. It's just hard to do. Yeah, the angle is completely wrong. That's what's causing me issues here. The angle is definitely not right. All right. It's really hard to do like a perfect depth for this thing. Going out for a little bit, have fun with drawing and stream, no problem, no problem. I will definitely enjoy the whole process. By the way, I didn't talk about like how I struggled at the beginning. So I was trying to set my things up for streaming today, and my camera really couldn't detect me for well, looking down basically, because how I have my normal camera setup overall is I have like a camera on a tripod that's looking slightly above my head. So whenever I do stuff, whenever I go for I do anything, I have it like it's overlooks like literally for everything. But it didn't work this time because I'm looking down most of the time. So the camera really didn't know like if I was closing my eyes or if I was looking down. So it really didn't know and really didn't understand like what to do. And so I went to oh, would that work? No, this looks weird this way. Maybe I'll have to redraw the hair. Maybe that's what's causing this issue is the hair itself. Easy fix wear camera. That actually wouldn't help because you wouldn't be able to see me that way. So I would have to wear the camera and also at the same time have a mirror in front of me at all times, which makes it impossible for me to literally do anything. see, like, will this? No. Let's see. What if I try to compress it like a little bit? If I made this like larger on one side. I'm trying to decide, like, to determine, like, how I should make my sleeve overall, because it's really hard to properly make, like, a proper in-depth. Like, the plan I had at the start was not that bad overall, but it looks so iffy, like having it like this. Yeah, having it like this like looks very iffy. But maybe that's because my my clothes here are not perfectly made. Let's see. The hard part is having to deal with the hair though. Like, the hair makes it like really harder for me to determine whether there's going to be something behind or not. Just use camera harness or something. I mean, if having a camera, like, I have a camera tripod. It's literally right in front of me. The camera is on the tripod, and the tripod is really easy to use altogether. Herein lies the problem. The tripod is too large for like to displace it like everywhere else, and at the same time, there's the screens right in front of me. I need to be able to use the screen that is right in front of me if I want to use that camera. So I have everything I need, it's just that it's really inconvenient for me to have it this way. Okay, let's try something. We're almost getting somewhere. We're almost getting somewhere. Man, who would have thunk that making this would be the hardest part of the entire thing? Getting close. It's not perfect, but we're getting close. Hmm. Maybe if I went this way. This is one of my biggest flaws as an artist. Like I can draw some stuff, but it usually takes me a lot of time. A lot of time to make, because I keep changing things. I keep like reiterating, like changing non-stop. Any Atari recommendations? I wouldn't be able to give you any. It's been so flippin' long since I played some Atari games. Like, you're literally asking me for like 15 to 20 years worth of memory here. I can barely remember what I ate yesterday. I think it was some rice or something. By the way. We're getting closer. I think this can go like a little bit deeper. Something like this. Something like this seems good. Okay. Starting to get like a good... There we go. I think I ate some... I don't even remember. That's the thing. I think I ate some rice. Maybe with something else? Ooh, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. I ate something. At the very least, that I am sure of. I ate something. As to what exactly? That's pretty much your answer. Okay. Could play secret quests and play your own maps. Was there a map system? Was there something like that? I don't remember. I don't remember like there being like a customizable kind of thing in Atari. Hmm. Alright, let me just replace myself. There'll be no posture checks, but I'll do those myself. I guess Floof can go like a little bit higher. Maybe a tiny little bit smaller too. It's oh, there's a posture check and a stretch. All right. Left side is stretched. Now the right side. There we go. So the stretches are done. Let's get back to business. So, yeah, that's one of the points I really don't like about myself is that I'm super slow in making any kind of art whatsoever. And it's not necessarily like the perfect art either, but I don't mind not drawing like the perfect drawings altogether. I don't compare myself like to other artists in terms of quality and whatnot. But I take way too long to produce like the kind of art that someone could whip up in like 5 minutes. It's my biggest problem in making anything. And it's something I really wish to change, but I do not know how to learn to do that. Learning to do that is it's one of the biggest problems I'm having overall. Actually, learning to learn is something I had to do myself because there was literally nobody to help me understand like what it is to learn. My parents weren't that good at that. My mother was like, yeah, we're just going to have him in our home and never let him go out ever, which brought me to the world of video games, so it's not that bad, I would say. But yeah, that wasn't too good for my childhood, let's just say. And my dad was, well, almost never here because he kept working, so I can't blame him for that. At least he did the job. He was working, so yeah. It's really hard to try and learn new things when you have no idea on how to seek to learn things, how to understand and how to understand your flaws, how to understand like what's going on, what's wrong with you, what you're doing right now, and how to correct it. How to just, you know, obtain knowledge. And this is something I had to learn by myself because there was literally nobody else that could teach me overall. And I'm still I'm still in the middle of learning how to learn, because I am still struggling with that. I'm still struggling to understand and properly learn things. I take a lot more time, like making stuff that some people would make in like half or a third of the time. I don't mind it too much, in the sense that, okay, it takes me longer than others to understand, well, to learn how to make things, and to make things of a good quality. But it still pains me in the sense that, if I had the opportunity to learn those things, or to learn how to learn earlier on, I think I would be in a much better spot. But still, it's something I had to do in my life, and I guess it led me to this life as a streamer overall, so it's not all that bad overall. Though I'm still struggling to learn and to understand like a lot. Oh, damn it. I've done a goof. Okay, there we go. Even though like I'm still struggling to learn and understand like the world around me, I do not mind it as much as I'm learning still. Like I still strive to understand the world around. I still strive to be a better person, I would say. As long as you don't like let go of that pursuit, I think even though you might be like in a bad spot right now, as long as you still strive to become better than you were like yesterday, yesterweek, yesteryear, as long as you don't never give up on that prospect, things will definitely get better in the long run. It might take more. It might take like more time to get there. It might take more effort to get there compared to others. It might take a lot more willpower to even like manage to survive all the way to that point. But in the end, as long as you keep going on for that, yeah. I think it's still something worth doing, you know? All right. Like everything that I'm doing right now in terms of art, I think someone that understands how to use the tools properly and whatnot could get to my point in like a year or two, or even like 6 months. It took me 3 years because there's a lot of other things I'm learning as well, like streaming is not just about like rolling the camera and just playing games. So if someone focused like for like 6 months overall, they could get to my level in terms of artistic skill, I would say. But as long as you can create some things that would help someone, like be it just simple art, simple like applications, simple videos, as long as you can make someone's day, as long as you can help someone in solving their issues, their troubles, their anything, it's all content worth doing, you know? And it's also an ironically one of the keys for growth, because once you have like an idea of the kind of markets you want to help, the kind of markets you want to create content for, if the help or the content you make like helps like a lot of people, they will very likely like recommend your content to other people. Like, let's just say, for example, that you're a starting channel called Linus Tech Tips. And you just make videos on YouTube about like computers and whatnot, about like what works, what doesn't, the things you need to know, the things that manufacturers shouldn't be doing but they are doing right now, and they need to be called for the facts, like things like that could help someone overall, is one of the crux of content creation. Like, funny content overall helps people get in their bad days, and they laugh, they just have a good time, you know. Some others are more like instructive, they're educational. Some other types of content are more like community, like people that want to try and find other people that have like a like-minded that's not good, a like-minded thoughts, you know. Like finding one of the wow, that's not good, that's horrible actually. Let's keep back to 5. DNF must be dead puts you versus a bronze 1 player or twice. I mean, there's Strive right now. There's a new character in Strive. There's Bridget, darn it. It's actually one of my main characters in Guilty Gear overall. Though I still want Sin back, even though I know it's not going to be the case. Still want Sin back, damn it. I'm a tiny bit sad that my fight stick is not exactly like in the perfect working order though. Like the diagonals are messing up a lot. Which is unfortunately something I cannot fix like easily. It's either like buy an entirely new stick and replace it, and yeah. It's just not perfect. Alright, let's make Floof Poof for the moment. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to add like a little bit more more flair to the outside. Like normally you would do this with a an outline and whatnot, but in this case the outline is going to be white and then black for the outside of the keychain, so I have to do this manually for this one. Unfortunately, that also means that this is prone to imperfections, so I need to be very careful. So that it doesn't look too weird. Like over here, for example. Okay, there we go. Actually, you know what? This is the beauty of having like multiple screens, because on my current like tablets here, like this part here was kind of hard to notice. So this is why I like whenever I go into make some stuff around. Like I like to have like many different types of luminosity and whatnot into my screens, so that I can have like a proper idea of how things are supposed to look like. Like here, for example, I wouldn't be able to see it from my tablets, but I managed to catch it because my OBS screen is a little bit brighter than usual. Okay, so stop playing Strive fast because the long boot up time in the awful menus and matchmaking. I see. Oh, by the way, Joe, you might be happy to know to learn that Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting rollback netcode. you who used to play a lot on that game. They announced it like at EVO or something. There we go. So you can see like the hair now is like slightly more highlights overall, though what I could do is like slightly, ever so slightly prune like the inner sides of the hair. Like the inner side doesn't need to be as exacerbated as the outside here. Though that's a little bit too much. Okay, and there we go. So actually, no, there's one more part here. Making sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. Oh yes, I'm indeed forgetting something. There should be... the fluff hoodie right here. So on the list of things I have to accentuate a little bit, the contour of the face. Alright, and now just the outside of the let's see. Ah, behave. Behave, you knave. There we go. The horn, like, that plays sometimes into this song kind of reminds me of Yakuza 7. Well, Like a Dragon in as its occidental name. But yeah, the horn like reminds me of the theme of not Lao Gui. What was the name of that? That spearman. The Chinese spearman that you fight later on. I don't remember his name anymore. He's a big bad Evo. But yeah, we'll definitely say though, Yakuza 7 was interesting to say the least. Like, it wasn't a bad Yakuza per se, but it was a bit different. Like, everything felt different to it. It's not bad at all, but there's just some plot elements that feel awkward, I would say. It's still a very, very good, cool title, though. Like, the plot twists, the story, the music, the gameplay in general. Even though it was completely different than what we were used to in most Yakuza games, it was a very good series altogether. But it was a very good game from the series altogether. I still have yet to play Lost Judgment, though. I need to play it because I have done Judgment and it's really, really good. It's so sad though that because of stupid agency contracts that we'll never see a second Judgment again. Well, a third Judgment at all. Because the agency that was with the main that hires the main character decided that having his likeness on the internet and having the game on PC was actually detrimental to his image somehow, because the internet is like that, of course. Which is not totally untrue, but that won't change things whether it's on PC or not. People will find a way to mod their game either way. But yeah, they thought that this would be detrimental to his image, and I've decided, yeah, you don't get the right to make a PC port of that game, and that's it. So it's like PS4 only. I think it's PS4 and Xbox One only. Maybe PS5? I don't remember. But yeah, still very sad. Very, very, very sad. And it goes to show that Japan is still like a little bit archaic in terms of a lot of stuff. A lot of the modern stuff, I would say. Like, be it on its laws for example, copyrights. If you use anything in Japan, you're liable to be sued. Like, if you use like any kind of IP whatsoever, you're actually liable to be sued. There is no there's no like what's the name of it again? Fair use. There's no fair use laws in Japan, and that's what's been causing like a lot of issues in the internet recently, especially with some like some copyright infringement actions taken in YouTube for some big YouTubers or VTubers. That's because Japan has no concept of fair use whatsoever. So actions that might seem like completely just ridiculous is just because of the lack of modernization overall on certain laws in Japan. That being said, I think the copyright laws could be improved on many countries altogether. It's not just Japan. Let's not blind ourselves here. It's not just Japan. Whoops. I have done a goof. I have done that on the bottom layer. Well then, I guess I'll just do this way. And I'll find another way to... integrate it, I guess. At least I'm not struggling with this thing again. It could be a figure here. All right, this is starting to look decent. Not exactly perfect, but decent. Okay, there we go. But yeah, this is also one of the reasons why I like to make my own stuff overall, because if I make my own music, if I make my own personal things, I don't necessarily risk like a copyright infringement because, well, I made my own stuff, you know. This is my thing. If you just if you just claim it, I'll just sue your butt into the ground because this is mine. And you have no right of deciding whether that's true or not. Well, no, it's not. You have no rights to just DMCA me over it, rather. Because an overlapping of ideas is more often happening in the world than not. It happens quite often, at the very least. All right, that sounds good, I guess. You know what? I guess what I could do. For here is just remove all this. Because this would be hidden by the arm anyway. There we go. And now let's merge these together. Okay. Ooh, this is taking shape. This is taking like a small shape. That's good. Now to do the same for the floof. You know what, actually, let's remove the Mackie for now. I love being able to draw, though. Like, being able to make stuff. Oh my lord, this is a little bit trippy. I didn't expect the eyes to stay here. I guess I'll get those eyes to be on another layer. But yeah, I love drawing overall, and making stuff for other people is literally one of my greatest joys overall. This is why I really love to make, like, whenever I get commissions for... Whenever I get commissions for emotes or for overlays or for things fully on board, like, I really love to do it overall, because I know I'm being useful to someone, you know? I can help people with the skills I've acquired and help them bringing their little emotions to that chat, or to be able to have fun overall with some Lure on bot commands, or whenever like they need some help, like understanding some things about certain programs, you know?
What?
We. Every single thing I try to make overall has that feeling in mind. So I want, as much as reaching like as many people as I can is part of it. I would say that as long as someone, as at least one person has found like some use to anything I've made overall, I think this is a win for me. Oh, maybe. Oh, this is why this was creepy and whatnot, because it was already part of another layer. Okay, we're good. And actually, I might want to move these. Let's see. Let's bring this back to... Okay, this seems better. Something akin to that? Now we add the fluff. Okay, the fluff is a little bit like hard to see, but that's because right here should be good, a good place, right? No, right here would be much better. That's because it's not colored yet. As long as we don't have like any colors in here, it's going to be hard to find things to do. So for now, I will remove those eyes because I do not know. Jeebus, why do I keep picking all of the bad songs today? I will go into a frenzy and I will remove most of the bad songs onto that playlist in the future. In the future, I mean actually tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, maybe tonight. Who knows? Alright then. I think we're ready to hop on into the coloring step now. So So, one thing I like to do before anything else, actually, let's go with a color like this. Nice green color. I'm going to make it like slightly transparent. So that whenever we color some things, we are going to have the opportunity to see like whether there's going to be something missing or not from the coloring. This is that color, this is that color. This is that color. This is that color. There we go. Now we can clearly see the fleef. It's such a good song. It is such a good song. Oops. This one needs to be... Oops. We do have a floof. I used to farm a lot on that area just to listen to that music. It's really, really good. Yes, it's the right color. Totally not me using my own VTuber as a reference. Nope. Never. Never ever. Never done that before. And if you say I did, you're lying. I didn't. I did not. I did not. I don't have the color for this one, but that's fine. Not really mind too much right now. And oh. Alright, so left arm is blue. Well, right arm is blue. Left arm is red. As for the pockets, blue and red follows the same as the arms. Oops. There we go. Let's have some here too, here too, here too. Actually, the pants are a little bit darker than the others. Pant check time. Bam. Bam. Bam, bam. There we go. Who needs a ref sheet when you have your own VTuber onto the stream, you know? Literally 0 points. Yeah, I truly do think that the current eyes are not perfect for what I'm doing. I'm going to go mad. Can I just like, you know, just go and you know, and use my eyes like right here and be like, hey, hey. I technically could. It would be hard. It would be really hard to do. At least now we have a template. Like, I can just do this and we have a template of how the eyes are, well, where the eyes are supposed to be at least. Hoodie off. Totally not me cheating for this color in particular. Not me. Never. Never. Ever. Alright, so. Next step. The hair. There's a 4-game series for the Atari, and the last game is coming out this week. This year. What game series is it? Because I know that Atari has been like making new stuff recently, but as weird as this might like sound. Nope. I actually do prefer the without lyrics version of this song, but it's so good as it is, I think. Whoops, that's not the right color. That is not the right color at all. Alright, that should be good enough for this. Mic? Or maybe it's just the sync actually. Try refreshing. Is my... yeah, my mic seems okay. My mic seems okay. Try refreshing overall. Because my mic seems fine. I'm going to try and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Just in case you don't know if you're still distinct or not. And blah 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 and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. You have refreshed and nice. So it should be fine now, right? Yeah, Twitch has been really weird recently with this. Even I have like had a lot of desyncs overall. This is not been properly done. There we go. So this is better now, right? We shouldn't have like any issues in terms of audio anymore. If you do, then we have an issue. Let's see. Last game was cancelled, but it's now coming out in the 50th Adversary Collection. I see. That is interesting. All right, let's not forget the mini flip here. Oink. It's going to be hard to properly draw something here, but we'll see. Yeah, I need a very faint touch. There we go. All right. So here should be completely... Whoop! That's not the right layer. Here should be completely red. It should be slightly red. Actually, no, it shouldn't be red at all. Never mind. Bam. Okay. So in terms of coloring and whatnot, if we do not count the flipping eyes that I cannot do in a good time frame, like most of the keychain is good. Just need to do the flipping eyes properly. The flipping face, the entire face. I need to do a good face. Which is easier said than done. So that is going to be the floof. This is going to be the main body. All right. You know what? Let me try and grab like a little bit of inspiration. What the? Oh, I see. Chibi expressions. Let's see. Sometimes when I'm really not sure on how I'm going to be drawing like some faces and whatnot, I like to try and see if I can find some inspiration from another expression. I don't like to trace or to do that kind of stuff. Like I don't find value in tracing any expressions whatsoever because it's not your own art at this point. You're just going to be copying someone else and never going to be finding your own ideas at this point. But it's never bad to have like some point of reference. Reference is good, copying is bad, people. I see you. I see you. All right. It's like just exactly what I wanted to go for with this. Let's see. Not too sure. I was going to say, what the heck was that? But no, it's just the auto saving that's doing its things. Yeah, no, I'm not too sure about that one. Not too sure about that one. Boop. All right, let's see. Oh, this has promise actually. This has a lot of promise. I just need to find like a... The mouth is not perfect. And I could displace like some of these eyes a little bit more. Let's try moving the mouth a little bit higher. Rotate it. Whoops. Making it smaller. Let's check on the view. It's getting close. Getting very close. No. Yeah, if I try to make it. There we go. Ah, it's still not perfect. Ah! I hate this. I hate this so much. When you think like you got the perfect one, then it's like slightly off. When you double check it. Making smiles is one of the hardest things to do altogether for me. Making like a proper smile is really, really tough. The eye sounds perfect though. Let's see, let's try to grab the eyes alone and isolate them. Maybe that's it. I just need to make it bigger. To make it the big. That's too big. It's slightly too big. Almost. It feels a little bit off. But maybe that's because of how the Ah, done it. Okay, one last thing. Actually, no. Let's do it. Let's do the opposite. And there we go. I think we have like we have a winner here. Whew. That was a tough one to do. So now, there's multiple things I can do from this. I can either go for a keychain kind of look and have like this part here be the internal loop for the keychain. But this would mean that this is a point of... Oh, hey, hello. This is a point of... like, this might be a weak link. Depending on how they do the thing. I'm going to do like one last check. To see if that like there's no weird spots or anything. Like this one, yeah. All right. Like I can see some imperfections here and there, so I can definitely clean that up before. Stopping there, but... Alright, we should be good now with this. Whew! That entire thing took me for almost 3 hours. And we didn't even do like any big shading or anything like that. I would say if I had to make like a chibi for other people like this, without any big colors whatsoever, I think this would be like a 45 or 40 euros commission. Like this is roughly how what this would be worth, I guess. If I take like 15 euros per hour. Oof. That was really bothering me. $300 more, Joe, to get the golden Fluffy. It's 500 for a golden one. Phew. So now, Now that this here is done, let's group all of these layers together. Let's remove this and let's go into the layer styles. Actually, you know what? No. I will keep this. So I will want a stroke, a white one that is non-multiply and normal. And then on top of that group, I'll make another group. Groupception. Oh, there'll be some issues here. We clean up the things. This needs to be cleaned on the floof. Floof. I am tempted to put one more point into the stroke here, like 1 or 2 more points. There we go. Just to help, like, linking this entire place here. There we go. So this way, I could either go for a normal keychain by having like a deep, some deep like a deep like dark stroke like this, so that I can make like the contour of the keychain. I can have it as a plastified keychain of sorts. You know, like those tiny little figures you put into plastic and then you can have this way. But yeah. Whew. This is one design done. Okay. hydrate for a little bit here. There we go. I was looking for my bottle, my water bottle that I placed right next to me. There we go. All right. So now that we have done this, what do we do next? I actually thought I was going to be spending like the 6 hours on this because I just cannot draw. I just cannot draw ice to save my life, but it actually came out pretty well. And I thought of actually just using Fluff's eye as Maggie's eyes, and it went pretty well. All right, though. So, what can I do now? I am at a loss. I mean, I can try making a card or two, I guess. But those are kind of hard to do overall because, all right, let me pull up the thing. So I don't need my my other monitor as much because this is more like some design thing rather than actual drawing. But let me try and put it into my tablet anyway. Come on. Let me grab you. Let me grab you. Alright, bam. Alright. So welcome to Affinity Designer. So right now, this is definitely not a definitive version of the SR cards. This is one of the cards I was interested in making overall. It has quite the high cost, the 5 cost altogether, but But I need to try and find like a good way to make it look a bit rarer overall, because just rainbows clearly isn't cutting it here, like whatsoever. Let me let's see, is there a good way for me to make it bigger without it messing too much with actually wait, can I just, oh yeah, I could just yawn that out immediately. Okay, well, let's do this then. Okay, so this way you'll be able to see the card itself and see whatever I'm doing, I guess. So, let us see. What is the card color container here? I see. It's in order to make the border here. Okay. It's not exactly what I want to though. Like having glow to these cards just misses the point entirely. I kind of like having like a rainbow colored side to this. But the problem is that it's not necessarily good, I would say. Let's see. Let's try putting like an inner glow onto the edges of this. Although it's not exactly perfect. And where did you go? Yeah, come back here. So the intensity is like the yeah, how big the radius is going to be, but also at the same time. Some of the effects in here are kind of interesting, but those are not necessarily what I'm looking for. Like the inversion effect here, the exclusion effect here is actually interesting, but for a different reason. Like this could be like some sort of special cards I could have, like that would do a certain different thing. I think overlay might be what I'm looking for. I'm basically trying to get like a some sort of glow that's being pushed into the card itself to give it like a bit more of a highlight overall. It's kind of hard to decide though to like. These borders though are like have to go. They have to go. It's not okay. These borders are just plain bad. So I'll just make everything go back to how they are. The fill goes back to white. Actually, let's try a couple of... Oh my lord, what is this? I'm going to try a couple of styles here, but... Oof. Actually, the SR color here doesn't look that bad. But it's definitely not perfect either. Oh, it changed my... Wow, it literally changed my... Yeah, let's go back to Vulcan as the... Yeah, definitely not perfect. I wonder if there's like a more default styles I can find on the internet overall to try and give me like an inspiration on how I want the Actually, this doesn't look bad at all. This really doesn't look bad at all in terms of how did they do this? They gave an outline, a 3D, and an emboss. So the only thing I don't like about this is the color and the graininess of it. Like it feels a little bit too grainy. Oh, hey. There we go. Just remove that gradient, that horror of a gradient overlay. And I think we might be talking. Okay. How did it make it that grainy though? Add 1 of 6. No. It's okay. It's boring color things anyway, so you'll be fine. I need to find like a better outline for this though. Or maybe not. Let's see, how is the outline? Linear gradients, okay. Okay, let's try making it poof and make it appear again. Okay. So I think it's a problem of the bevel and emboss here. Let's try removing that for a moment. Okay, we are getting somewhere. We're definitely getting somewhere with this. Now, the only thing I really want to know is how did he manage to get that graininess overall? Also, I really hate that this layer effects thing just does not stay on top of everything here. Let me just do this. This way, even if I lose it, I can keep it again. How did he make it that grainy? That's what I want to know. They had some noise here. Okay, I see. I see how it goes. Okay. So if I wanted to make like a more golden-ish okay, that doesn't look half bad. Just need to make the outline like a different color, but what would be a good color to go with? Red? No, red clashes with it a little bit. What would be a good color that goes? Orange? No, orange also clashes with it. I need like a dark color. It's not completely dark either, though. There's like some moderate amount of noise as well in it. Though it wouldn't matter too much if there's no gradient in it anyway. Or maybe I need like a brighter color. Maybe just going with a bright yellow might be better. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. Though the yellow is in itself is really not that great. But making the color that way, well, making the design that way is such a step up. Such a step up. Yeah. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy the style and create one. So that whenever I click on the cost container and the cost text, I can just click this finger arrow here. And we can get this is not perfect though. Kinda would like to make it consistent with the rarity, but need to make it like very readable at least. Can I actually use that as a basis for? No, this is fill. I would like to keep that as a stroke kind of thing. Not as fill. But you know what? Might as well try, right? I mean, that's interesting, I guess. And they're rather nice. Let's try this. Nah. Hard pass on that one. Or maybe because the fill is not showing. Let's see. No, this is supposed to have a fill, but it's not showing at all. How? Oh, maybe because of this. Bam. Not that great, no. Pass, pass. So I would like to try and make like some kind of golden glow on the sides and not have it as how it is right now. Because let's be honest here, it's not looking that great otherwise. Oh, this is going to be hard to read. This is going to be really hard to read if I keep it this way. Let's change the outline right the heck now. Maybe that's what's lacking onto those altogether. I think I just need to make the outline black overall. As much as it's not perfect overall, it's much better in terms of readability than anything else. Usually you would like to just not have black as a main color for anything. But black makes things completely readable. It's a good thing when you just layer it over onto a white space. Makes everything readable. With moderation, of course. Which is something I kind of want to do right now. For you. Reduce a tiny little bit the outline on this one. It's kind of hard to place the 5 in the right place though. It's in a very, very awkward spot. And I'm fighting between readability and actual design, I guess. So zero ideas on how I'm going to be making that entire thing better though. Like I want the card to be like slightly plated onto its sides and whatnot, but the problem in doing that is I might clash with some of the other cards. And I want to give like more depth to, well, more detail into the design of the cards themselves, because this is an SL card. This is going to be like one of the rarer cards to find overall. If we compare this to like a normal card or something. There we go. So this is a normal card. What the heck are you doing? Like, why is it spazzing this way? Jeebus almighty. Let's have it this way, I guess. So you can have like a side-by-side comparison. Okay. Can I please have like the same kind? Ah, this is driving me crazy. Crazy, I say. Yeah, I can't. I apparently cannot have the same size for both. Oops, not what I wanted to do. But yeah, on my right side is what the heck are you doing? It's being really, really weird on me right now. There we go. So on the right side here is a common card I've made. Something you'd be finding like all over the place, and you'd be able to obtain easily and just use easily. And then on the left side, I want something like more special, but I have like no idea right now. Like no matter how much I wrangle my brain on how to make like a better card overall, I'm not finding anything. Yeah, I think I'm having a block here. Like a hard block. Because even though the gold-plated thing like gave me like a better idea as to how I want like an effect to be for a rarer card, it still doesn't like help me in making like a better design for it. Yeah, I'm not finding anything. I think it'll be better for me to just leave it be for now. Because if I try to just butt my head over and over and over and over again onto things I cannot really do right now, I think this is just going to bother me too much, rather than actually just helping me do whatever I need to do. I think this is going to be it. I think this is going to be it. I'm not finding like any inspiration onto anything I want to do now. So I think even though this was a blast and whatnot, I think I will have to call it off for the day. It's been a little bit short. I'm very sorry. But it's been fun. It's definitely been fun being there with y'all. And making this little keychain, yeah. All right. All right. Let's try and find somebody to send your love to. I'm not finding anything I can just send you off to, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to just let it be then. I have no right targets unless anybody in chat has like a possible target I can just throw y'all off to. But otherwise, yeah, no, I will have to wish. In the meanwhile, I will get rid of the bad soundtracks that are lurking in my folders. Oh yeah, so by the way, so we are not going to be streaming on Thursdays and Fridays like usual. Saturday will be some more Mario 64. You know what? Actually, before I call it today, woo. You know what we can do? We can make the schedule together. We can make the schedules. Let's see. Let's launch back Affinity Designer. Let's go. You'll be able to see how I make the schedule every day. Well, every week rather. So on to the next Saturday, we will be doing we will be doing some Mars Sivora Max. But as for the Ramak in question, we will go with. Oh yeah, right. If I don't place the right, if I don't place the right thing, that's not going to help now, is it? There we go. So we're going to be doing some Yoshi's Adventure 128. Apparently, this is a better version of that last Yoshi RAM hack we've played. So I want to try and see if this hack will have redeemed itself by that moment. So Yoshi's Adventure 128. On Sunday, we will continue on Rune Factory 4. Definitely. So Sunday is still going to be that. So normally, if I'm to believe the hack, Yoshi's Adventure is going to be a two streams kind of thing. The hack has like 120 stars or something, so it's a full-size hack, a big hack. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a long hack altogether. So 2 streams on Yoshi's Adventure 128. On Tuesday we will continue Rune Factory still, and on Wednesday, I kind of want to change it up a little bit. Especially since I'm going to be able to have like a little bit more freedom in what I want to do. But what could we do? What would you want me to stream, chat? Is there like anything you'd want me to do? Because I could go for literally anything. I could go for some more Rune Factory 4. I could go for some games that I have yet to play, but I have like on my Steam list. There are some games on my Xbox Game Pass as well. There's many different kinds of things I could do. I could try to draw some more, but I need some ideas. Like if I don't have any ideas whatsoever as to what I want to draw, I cannot like bring things like that all together. Terraria is a bit much. Terraria might be too long for just a one-off. This will need to be like a recurring thing, and I don't have like the time to do that on stream, unfortunately. And actually, I had tried Terraria before, but well, it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. And by that I don't mean like viewership or anything like that. It's just that I was lost the entire way when I tried modded Terraria. I need to replay through the entire game in order to be able to go back to modded Terraria again. Let's see. Is that like a game I could go for? You know what? I was going to say Okami, but Okami might be a bit long too. Now there's so many good games, but So little time. So little time. You know what? No. Let's be responsible. Let's be responsible people here. Wednesday will be nothing. Wednesday will be nothing. So why nothing over what I just everything I just said. The reason for that. Wait, where's my? Okay, there's. Oh yeah, that's because I'm dumb. I completely erased the thing over then. So why nothing? Why no streams on Wednesday? Because I will be making videos. I'll be dedicating this Wednesday to actually making better janky talky stuff and to actually just edit the thing altogether. Especially since there's a few things here and there that I need to do. And also whack the butt. So let's see. So now we can get the category wrapper and we can name it nothing. There we go. And now we can change the time. So this will be from the 13 to 17. Right? Saturday 13 to Wednesday 17. There we go. So this here will be the schedule for the thing, yeah. Schedule, skids. Save. There we go. So the schedule is going to be posted into the Discord in just a tiny little bit, so that you cannot miss it. And if you're curious as to what kind of games I'm going to be playing, you're going to be able to check them out. Ba-dum. And at the same time, I will be updating the Twitch panel for y'all to be able to check it out if you go into the main page whenever you need to. Also, shut up me. I said shut up me. Okay, where's the schedules kind of thing? What's my schedule thing? Is this the one? No, this is the one. So now whenever you click on the schedule, you have the updated one. I need to update that panel as well to say that I stream like 3 to 5 days a week. But it's okay. That's alright. That's everything is okay. But for now, yeah, I think I'll be heading off for the day. I don't see any possible raid targets for now. So thank you all so much for coming by. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful evening, have a beautiful noon, have a beautiful meal, have a beautiful everything. And stay awesome, you beautiful people. I will see you until the next Saturday for some Yoshi's Adventure 128. Take care.